Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys? I'm excited to I can't even talk. Let's try that again. Hi everybody, this is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. I am excited to be with you today and to bring you another project. This week I'm using the Rainbow of Happiness bundle. It has a gorgeous rainbow stamp set. Who doesn't love rainbows? Everyone loves rainbows. And then here is the dies that go with it. I've added another die set today, and it is our basic borders. And I really love this one here because it looks like clouds, and that's what I used here at the bottom. So I added a little bit of our designer series paper. I really love our DSP, and this pack is no exception. It is our Brights 6x6, and you can get it until May 2nd in my online store. Definitely check out the description below, and it will link you directly to it. Don't miss out because it is super cool. So it comes in all the bright colors. So there's 10 different colors. You get 4 sheets of each, I believe, for a total of 40 sheets. And there's 4 different patterns. They're double-sided and they're awesome. Okay, so let's get started on a really cool card. Our background of our card, our main card layer, the backing, is Pacific Point, and it is such a fun blue. That's this color here. And we're going to take an 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece. I've scored it down the middle at 4 1/4, and I'm going to use my bone folder here. And I am going to fold it over, and then I'm going to press that score mark. And this one's going to be positioned in this direction. Now, on the inside, I didn't stamp anything, and I didn't want to put a mat of white inside. I had a mat on the outside of white. I didn't want it to look the same. So what I did was I gave myself a little rainbow inside, which I think is super adorable. What do you guys think? Isn't it cute? So the rainbow is 3/16 by 5.5 inches of cardstock and 4 little strips. So let's go ahead and glue these guys in there first and just get it over with, right? So we're going to start with purple. I'm going to grab my silicone mat and my wet glue. I like to use the silicone mat when I do use anything wet because I just don't like making messes. So we're going to start with this, and we're going to go ahead and put our wet adhesive on the strip. So we'll get it started here. And you don't really need a lot of this glue. It does go a long way. I'm just going to lay it down. I'm going to grab my tweezers. I like using these because I don't like getting glue on my hands and then trying to touch the project. So I'm going to leave a little border of the bright blue at the bottom. And then I'm going to go ahead and lay this strip down. And hopefully I'm not short like I am on that strip, but I will show you how to fix that in a minute. We're going to do the green. And this is Granny Apple Green. The purple is Highland Heather. So let's do the Granny Apple Green next. And I'm going to butt that right up against the other one. So I'm just going to press it and push it down so that it fits right along that edge there. Okay. Now we're going to take our yellow, which is our Daffodil Delight. And again, just a little line of glue, tweezers, and we'll attach that. And again, we're going to slide it down into place. Well, that one worked. And then let's do our last one, which is Polished Pink. And I'll show you how I'm going to fix that little problem in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and grab and line that up and slide it into place. Okay, and as you can see, my little strips are not perfectly in sync, so we're just going to trim that side off. So I'm going to grab my paper trimmer. Here we go. I'm going to try and get it in the camera here. Let me move some things out of the way so that you guys can see. And I'm going to position my paper so that all the pieces are right along that track. And no one is going to know that I've trimmed that tiny little end off. No one's even going to notice that. I don't know what happened there. There must be something in the blade there. Let me go off this side and we'll meet that piece. There we go. Something must be stuck in that channel. I'll have to mess with that later. So that is how you trim your piece. I'm going to make sure my other side is also, you know, lined up. And I think it is for the most part. There may just be a hair. And I will just trim that, I think, with my scissors because it will not grab. I'm going to, there we go. I think I have a tiny bit hanging off, just a hairline. There we go. All right, so we're good to go. That's our rainbow on the inside. And now we're going to work on the outside of our card. So let's put our paper trimmer away and get rid of these little strips that I cut off. And let's bring our card back into play. All right, so on the front of our card, we're going to use a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 of basic white cardstock. As you can see, I have a little cloud up here, and that's going to be punched with our cloud punch. So I'm going to grab a piece of scrap basic white cardstock, and I'm going to just slide it into the punch, and there's my cloud. And we are going to use the border dies. I've already cut them. So I already have 2 of those in place. So I have this white one and then this one. And as you can see, they're a little long, but that's okay. That's what I want. We're not going to glue it down to the blue card yet. So I'm going to put that off to the side. I'm going to move this card out of the way. So we're just going to figure out where these little guys are going to lay. I don't want it to be too high up. So I think right about there. And that one looks good like it is, so I'm happy with that. So now I know approximately where I want to do my rainbow. So my rainbow is going to have the large bow and the next size. Let me grab that for you, which is this one. And then we have 2 more. We have the medium and the littlest one. So those are the 4 bows in the rainbow. So let's go ahead and get our ink pads. I'm going to bring this down and it's going to be stamped there. I'm going to move these out of the way. We're going to start with our rainbow, and you can see that the top bow is polished pink. So it's our largest. I like to bring the ink pad to it. So I'm just going to ink that up really well. And we are going to know approximately where we want our bow to be. So I'm going to move my clouds out of the way. And I'm just going to drop it right about there. I think that looks pretty awesome. I'm going to give it a nice press. And lift that straight up. Beautiful. Okay, we'll clean that in a minute. Let's move on to our next color. Our next color is Daffodil. And it is our second bow of our rainbow. This one's a little smaller, so we can stick that right in there. I'm going to bring this down a little so I can see. And I'm going to position my bow right in there and press. Isn't it so cute? This is the cutest little set. Our next bow is going to be green, and we're using Granny Apple Green. We're going to grab the third. And we will position that in there. And when we're happy, we'll press that into place. And our last color is Highland Heather. So we will, oh, that one's not grabbing the ink too good. I'm not sure I like how that green is so high up, but it's going to be kind of covered. It should be fine. Should we do it again? Let's roll with it. So we're going to attach our 2 sections of our clouds. So we want to make sure that they're high enough up. and we want to make sure we have room for both. And I'm gonna basically attach them on the one side and go across. So since I know that it's gonna be positioned like that, I'm gonna go ahead and hold my clouds in place. I'm gonna flip my paper over, and with my scissors, I'm gonna use my paper snips. I'm just gonna go along that edge and get rid of the excess. I'm gonna do the same thing with our Pacific point. I'm gonna line it up, make sure that I have room, and I'm gonna trim the edge. I think that looks pretty awesome. I'm gonna trim that edge. And as you can see, I have a little bit at the bottom. I will do that as well. So let's just, I'm gonna leave that alone for right now. We'll do that at the end. All right, so now we're gonna put our dimensionals on, but first we wanna add a little bit of color back here. So I'm using Balmy Blue, and I'm gonna be using one of my blending brushes. So I'm gonna just dip it in the Balmy Blue. I'm gonna grab a scrap paper, and I wanna add a little bit of a background so that it looks like the rainbow is in the sky here, you know? Kind of give it a cloudy effect. And since it's such a pale blue, you don't really need to worry about it going over the rainbow section. I'm gonna put some in the center there too, and kind of down here, because we just wanna create that illusion of sky. Now, we're going to use Pacific Point here in a minute. Let me clean some of these stamps so that I can get them out of my way. Got to get all the little bows of my rainbow clean. A little squeakiness going on. Here's the large one. All right. So now we have that done and out of the way. We have our blending done. We're going to grab our Pacific Point ink, and we are going to use that to go around the edges. So I'm just gonna grab a little bit and I'm gonna brush some of it off. Pacific Point is a very strong color, so a little goes a long way. And I'm just gonna add a little bit to the edges here where it's stitched of the clouds, just to tie the color in. So I'm just gonna use my brush. So there is my Pacific Point. And then I'm gonna lay it down, and I'm just gonna rub really pale, really light touch along the edges of that cloud to deposit a little bit of a pale blue right along the edge. So that's what we have. Now we don't need to do the same thing with these clouds, but I do want to line them up so that they're the same. And I'm going to trim the side. I had it a little bit off when I was cutting earlier. All right, let's move this out of the way. We're also going to take our cloud that we punched, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to grab some of that Pacific Point, get the excess off, and then we're going to go around the tips of our cloud just to add a little bit of that pretty Pacific Point blue right around our little cute cloud. And then I'm going to stamp my words with the polished pink. And it says, a little something to brighten your day. And we're going to stamp that right there on our cloud. There we go. A little something to brighten your day. All right, we're done with stamping, and we're done with our blending brushes. So I'm going to get all of that out of the way, and we're going to start assembling this really cute card. Oh, actually, we're not done with stamping. The polished pink, I forgot I was going to do some cute little hearts. So let me grab that little stamp. It's a super cute stamp, and we're just going to add some cute hearts around our rainbow. Just on different sides here. Let's see where the cloud's going to end up. So we don't need any there. I think we're good. I think that looks pretty cute. All right, now we're done stamping. Sorry guys, I forgot about our cute little hearts. So let's clean those. Whoops, I scrubbed it so hard I moved it off the stamp. I mean off the block. Let's pick that back up. All right, now we're done and we can start assembling. So let's go ahead and attach this white, basic white layer with our seal adhesive. We're going to put that in the corners here. We're going to line up the corners so that we have about the same all the way around the card. Looks good so far. What do you think? Now, let's go ahead and add our bottom layer. We're going to use our dimensionals. So let me grab those. I'm going to flip those over, and I'm going to put them near the top and work my way down the little border of clouds. Super cute they are. That looks pretty good to me, and that's gonna be right there. I also want to put some at the bottom because I want there to be some nice stability there. So I'm gonna just fill in the spots that don't have the dimensionals, and I'm gonna use my take your pick tool. I'm gonna use the pointy end, and I'm gonna remove the backs of all of these dimensionals. One more, come on. All right, get those in the trash. And then we can go ahead and glue this down. So we're gonna add our clouds, and we wanna make sure that we are covering our rainbow. And this looks pretty awesome. Just like that. Looks great, doesn't it? It looks like that rainbow is in the clouds. Now we're going to attach this layer. Now, as you can see, there's a section here that has no area and it's not lifted up. So that's where we're going to put our dimensionals. So we're going to start here, and we're going to put 4 of those across. And that is really going to hold up our blue layer of clouds. We're also going to put a couple dimensionals on our main cloud punch. And so this is going to glue right there, and I'm just going to use the wet glue for the rest. So let's grab my silicone mat. I'm going to pull my backings off of my dimensionals. And let me grab my wet glue. Now that bottom section's going to have those dimensionals, so I don't need any there, but I'm going to put especially around the curvy part of my cloud, and then I'm just going to run a line like that. I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to lay the designer series paper along that end, and then I'm going to press it down over my clouds like that. Doesn't that look awesome? I love it. Let's put our cloud in place. We have to pull the backs off of our dimensional. And then comes the fun part, right? We're going to put our bling. So let's put our cute little cloud up here. That looks good there. All right, we're using the iridescent rhinestone basic jewels, and I'm going to use the small ones. I'm going to use the putty end of my take your pick tool. I'm going to put one up here on the cloud because it looks like it needs something there, doesn't it? We're going to put one over here, kind of on that cloud maybe. I'm going to put one on my rainbow because I really like that they take on the color of whatever whatever you put them on. We're going to put one here on my designer series paper. Got to leave a little room because we're going to put a bow there. Let's see if we need any more after we do our bow. So our bow is a piece of 8 inches of our gorgeous grape ribbon. So we're going to go ahead and make 2 loops and then cross them over, make a little knot there in the middle. And then I'm just going to get it nice and small because I do like smaller bows. So I'm just going to pull them so that those 2 ends are rather small. Let's see, that looks awesome. Let me grab my ribbon cutting scissors. It's just another pair of paper snips that I only use for ribbon. I'm going to trim the ends. And then I'm going to use our mini glue dots to attach our bow. And then after it's on, if I think we need another rhinestone, then I'll add it. So the glue dots come on this roll, and then you just take the little knot that you have there and you just press it against that mini glue dot, and it grabs the mini glue dot onto the back of your ribbon. Then you can position it where you're ready for it. I'm going to put it right there. That looks so cute. I think we're good with with the iridescent rhinestones. I don't think it needs another one. I think they're perfect. So let's just leave it be. I will clean up and put those iridescent rhinestones away and my dimensionals. And I'll bring in our original card. I think it turned out pretty awesome. What do you guys think? I'm quite happy with it. So don't forget about the Rainbow of Happiness bundle. This is the stamp set, and these are the dies. I also paired it today with the border dies, the basic borders. Check that out. The links are in the description below. If you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. Definitely check out my other videos, like, comment, share, subscribe. And if you do subscribe, you'll get notifications of when I post new videos. I do post pretty often, but subscription is the best way to get the latest information of what I have up. And I do post videos at least 5 days a week, so definitely check out my channel for lots of inspiration. I do blog every day, and I am happy to be with you. So thanks again for joining me. If you've stayed to the end, good for you. Check out my playlists or my other videos, and I will see you next time. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping!